Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. Got Max and Edward here, just hanging out. Yeah, we've guys, we got a big match this weekend. Spurs played them before. We know
the way to Wembley.
Yeah, we know what's coming. We know what we've got in Spurs. They're a very familiar opponent with familiar players. Let me ramble off a bunch of Spurs info, and then we'll go from there. Their recent form, all right. They won their FA Cup match. What's that like? They won their FA Cup match 3-0 over AFC Wimbledon. They drew with West Ham 1-1. They beat Swansea 2-0 and beat Southampton 5-2. And those are Premier League matches, obviously. They're fifth in the table right now. They're 12-5-5 with 41 points. Possible lineup: Lloris, Aurier, Davinson Sanchez, Jan Vertonghen, Davies, Dyer, Dembele, Eriksen, Dele Alli, Son, and Harry Kane. Possibly could see Wanyama making his way in there. Sissoko. Pick up your phone, Sissoko. No, we're actually glad you didn't. Eric, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we kind of don't need you now. Bye-bye.
Eric Lamela, Llorente, and Trippier. Trippier might make his way in instead of Serge Aurier. And we know for a fact Alderweireld and Jansen, they'll be out. We know that. So, guys, let's talk about the possible Everton lineup. What are we thinking? Who wants to go? You want to go, Edward? You start. Sorry, I'm talking all over you.
I think he'll probably go defensive, but I've read somewhere that some Spurs fans actually think that they perform at their worst when we actually go defensive. So I think, for once, Sam Allardyce's little methods might actually work in our favour. Possible lineup, I'd say Pickford. Can we register Garbett now?
I mean, technically we can, but since Allardyce just talked about assessing him a couple days ago, I tend to think he's not going to be in. But
I mean, we might see more of him in the future. Obviously, we're discussing about him, but maybe not as soon as.
I'll put him in anyway. So yeah, Garbett at left back. Let's have a refreshing change. Left-footed player for a change. I'd say put Keane, Jagielka, and Holgate. And Kenny as well. Who do I put in front of them? I'm going to say Gay and Klaassen, Sigurdsson, and then up top, Calvert-Lewin and Tosin.
You're a wild man, Edward. You're all over the place.
I know. 5-2-1-2. Beacon formation.
All right. Edward is brave today. Max, are you as brave? Because I'll go ahead. Spoiler alert: I'm not.
No, I'm not. I just want to, when we're talking about team selections, I just want to kind of make a note of the fact that what you said earlier, Jelly, that there can be there could be rotation in there. The season is practically dead now, really, because there's nothing left to win. I suppose. I mean, I know we can, if we win against Tottenham and Leicester lose, we might go above Leicester, and then we might start looking more into the European picture. But as you said, Gerry, the chance for experimentation here, and it wouldn't surprise me if we played James McCarthy from the start and started giving him a few more starts, because he has looked like to hit a form.
You forgot about him. So did I, in all fairness.
Well, I just want to know if Gay fit, because I'm not sure if Gay is fit now.
That's my question, because I have no idea, dude.
I don't know if it's the hamstring injury. He's just reacted to being worked when it shouldn't have been worked against Bournemouth. So I'm unsure.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that they might put Davies in with McCarthy and make McCarthy kind of do that water carrying role that Gay can do. But I'm hoping to see rotation anyway, and it's a big stage, Wembley. Maybe we can try and overcome that mentality problem somehow by winning at Wembley.
So, are you thinking we go 4 at the back or the 3 at the back, which is effectively 5?
No, I think we're going to go with the 4 because I think that's something that we'd probably use beyond this season. You know, whether Allardyce goes or not, I think it's more comfortable playing the 4. As you said, it's still too soon for Seamus to come in. So I think Kenny's going to get more experience at that right back role, which is good because I feel like he has got a future at the club. As for playing centre back, I want to see Williams and Holgate because that looks like a partnership that I know Williams is aging, but we can carry that on because it does look like the strongest centre back pairing we've got at the club.
Jack seemed to do so well though against Liverpool.
He got an assist.
Yeah, he
that
did
happen. He looked. That was the fastest I've seen him look this season.
But I can just counter that by saying he was the one that Van Dijk was towering over, nodding that goal in. I mean, I know Pickford made a great error, but yeah, I feel a lot more comfortable with Williams and Holgate at the back, particularly after that West Brom game. They played together and they handled everything comfortably in the air. So.
Can I counter that counter? But with Williams, he hasn't actually gone up in the air as much as we've hoped for him for, and I think we've all agreed he's been to blame for a lot of goals that have been in the air. He's not gone up for it.
Well, I mean, his confidence has seemed to just be reinvigorated under Allardyce, so. And I feel playing alongside Holgate is the best way to get that Ashley Williams that we saw at Swansea and previously, because it's only this season that he's been having his bad run. You can't write him off as a completely dumb player after he's had just a bad spell of form. As we've seen when he has played, there is a chance to try and rekindle that form that he showed, for example, at the Euros, and I'm happy with that partnership at the moment, particularly against Spurs, as we've seen how they've got multiple ways. They use crosses. They're quick. They use short shots. And so I'm just more comfortable with those two playing at centre back.
Just needs to get his head shaved.
Maybe that's a solution.
I think it's a reverse Samson situation, Edward. The Bible reference. All right. So, anything else, Max? What about your attack?
No, obviously I think we're going to see Toffee come in, and that's who everyone wants to see. I think it was a big disappointment not to see him play at Anfield because the stage looks set for him to try and, that looked like his big debut, but obviously we didn't register him in time. And again, it's still a big stage to introduce your Everton career on, at Wembley. Yeah. There's not many players that can say they started the first game for Everton at Wembley. So hopefully, I'm sure, I've got no doubt he realises how big that is.
Yeah.
I know, like Edward says, I don't know whether that means he's going to play up with Calvert-Lewin, but I'm particularly from the way Mashiri was saying in the AGM that he feels like bringing Tosin in will relieve a bit of pressure on Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
So I can't see them being up together, although I would like to see it in the future. But I feel like Calvert-Lewin is due a bit of a not a rest exactly, because I still want to see him involved, but just try and take a bit of responsibility off his shoulders.
Step down and let someone else in the spotlight in a way.
Suppose.
Well, he's been worn out. He has gotten more play at his position than almost any other player that we have.
Best Dominic on Merseyside though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. As you say, Gerry, he's played a lot, and he's done an admirable job. Mm-hmm. I think that was the word that Mashiri used as well, which is true. You look at his statistics. Headers won, penalties won. Although maybe he's not been as prolific as we'd like him to have been.
Yeah.
That's no fault of his own, because I still think he's a very young player that probably still isn't at his level yet. But I'm confident that will be his level in a few years.
Yeah. I think he's going to get more clinical the more and more he plays. I just feel like that's the way it is with players. With goal scorers.
He could become a bit of a Harry Kane-esque player in a way.
That's the way I've been kind of viewing him. I'm not saying he's Harry Kane, viewers and listeners. Okay, don't do that.
He's not that American in his way of understanding.
But do I think there are some similarities potentially? Yeah. I think you can see some similarities in their game. I think he has to get a lot more bulk to be as close to Harry Kane and get a little bit better in the air. But, you know, I think he may have more pace. So, anyway, I don't have him in my lineup either. Yeah, I think giving him a rest would be a great idea. Pickford, Kenny, and I want to play Holgate Williams. I want to play Holgate immediately. I want him on the field as soon as possible. All right, because I want him to start putting a lot of. He's got a lot going on right now, and it would be great to go. I don't want to build it up for him to play his next game. I want to go ahead and get him playing a game. You know what I mean? That was my thinking on it. Let's get him in and go ahead and get that next game after the incident out of the way. Let's go ahead and get him in.
Well, we can.
Yeah. Well, you never know with all that. That's a different conversation. Left back, I think it's going to be Martina again, just because we haven't bought anybody yet, and Leighton Baines is not ready, and I don't think Allardyce has had enough time to really assess Luke Garbett. And I initially had Idrissa Gueye in my lineup, but honestly, I don't know if they're going to play him if he's been injured. I'm going to err on the side of caution and say it's going to be Schneiderlin and McCarthy as those kind of, and then Rooney, Sigurdsson, Bolasie, and Tosun. Tosun Pasha. That's right.
We love him.
And you know what? I think Tosun's going to get a goal.
Do you reckon?
I think he's going to score, and I think Sigurdsson's going to score because he's big. I don't know. I have no idea why.
He likes to score against his former clubs, doesn't he?
What I could see happening, guys, is them subbing Rooney out and sliding Sigurdsson into that center attacking mid position, that number 10 position, and then us making a little push there. You know,
he's very good in the number 10 position as well, especially on FIFA.
I know. I'm just wondering if Sam is ever going to be ready to pull Rooney back to be in one of those defensive, in one of those farther back positions.
Yeah, well, I think what makes him so effective in that number 10 role is, and what will help now, particularly in the Everton, because since we've started playing wingers again, Bolasie's come back and we've seen bits of Vlasic and Lookman. I think I think there'll be movement going on beyond him that he can pick out from either side now. Whereas when he was on the left, his only option was kind of like look in field, which they got that goal against Swansea. But as we've seen when he was playing for Swansea, he just seemed to be. I'm not going to go as far as say one of the best in the league in that number 10 role, because it's proved that he's going to take a while to kind of bring the type of form out of him. But it just looks like where he plays comfortably.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you class Harry Kane as world class and one of the best players in the world?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I do. I just looking back on it. I'm 19, and I think I can comfortably say he's one of the best strikers that I've seen since his work rate and his ability to find the bottom of the net. He's just got a phenomenal ability of how to strike a ball. When he played against Wimbledon in the cup, he scored 2. Hopefully, it means he's not as fit and firing for this game against us. But I think. Even if people deny it, I think people do know how much of a threat he is.
I think as well. I am gonna take it back to FIFA, but with good cause, because there's a lot of people like voting for the FIFA Team of the Year for 2017, and they're arguing over should Harry Kane be in over the likes of Neymar and Lewandowski and all of these that are nominated. But I genuinely think he is, because you look at his record for last year, that he got the most goals out of everyone in 2017 in Europe. Yeah. That has surely got to warrant him a place in the list for the Team of the Year, and to be up there with the highest in the world.
Wouldn't it hold it back the fact that English teams have not performed as well in Champions League, and they're taking a lot of those players from the teams that have really dazzled in Champions League, you know what I mean? And it may not be necessarily my opinion, because I haven't looked at every player for every position to decide who's the best, because I have children, and my life is insane. But
You're not a lonely person.
but
like me.
you're not lonely. You have a family, for goodness sake. So I honestly though, I understand the argument against it though. I think that would hold him back. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think in terms of the question, it just relates to the English team just performing poorly in Champions League overall. Before, I do think that is changing from this year on.
Yeah.
Look at Manchester City, and I watched Tottenham against Real Madrid, and Tottenham absolutely took them apart. So I think that is on the way to changing now.
Well, Tottenham have always sort of been known as the bottle jobs, haven't they? But I think, well, like you're saying, against Real Madrid, they've sort of proven a bit of backbone with them.
It's almost like they focused their season around performing in Champions League rather than anything else.
Let's hope that carries on.
They are a fantastic team. I mean, just to full circle it to Everton, just a few years ago, I remember when we signed Aaron Lennon, I wasn't so keen on the idea because I felt that, Tottenham are someone that we should be, head to head with. We shouldn't be buying players from them, that don't cut their first team and they're starting 11 every week. So I think that goes to show the size of the bump in the road that Everton have faced, and we are looking at we're a good few years behind those top sides now. But
Do you reckon Lennon will get any action this Saturday?
Who?
Lennon.
It really wouldn't surprise me because he's been such a valuable player since Sam's come in. He's been really influential to his plans. I think he gives a lot of structure to the side. He's a winger, and you can't really pick. As we say about Vlasic and a few other players, there's a versatility to them. We don't quite know where their best place is to slot them in the side. But with Lennon, you've got a good solid winger there that provides a bit of structure.
So the real question, guys, is Sam going to be sentimental and play him in that one, or are we selling him to Burnley and they won't chance it?
I didn't hear that. Has that just come out today or something?
They've been talking about Burnley possibly making a bid for about a week now.
It wouldn't surprise me with the attitude, not just Sam, but this kind of, it might be a Steve Walsh attitude, I'm not sure, but we seem to be quite optimistic in that we want to bring players in the future. So maybe that means shifting a few of the players that don't exactly cut the mold of what we want.
Yeah.
Which, as we've seen, Lennon isn't starting as much recently. So
is his contract out in the summer?
Yeah, his contract's out this summer, so
that
going to get
exactly why.
Maybe he'll be pulling a Coutinho.
That would be the first time anyone has put that, like Aaron Lennon, in that particular circumstance. All right, so
I always like to make an impression.
So prediction time.
1-1 for me. I feel like I think it'll be a spirited performance because I just think we've got a side that we want to show that we can still achieve in the league. I think Sam's going to have the attitude of saying to the lad, go out there and show that we still have got things to achieve. The season's not quite dead yet. So I feel like it's going to be... I mean, we've had so many of these turning point moments this season that have ultimately just left us back where we are. Yeah. But as I said before, we've got the chance to leapfrog Leicester if Leicester get beat. And then we'll be in 8th. And I think anyone who's 8th is always going to be pushing to find a Europa League spot. So hopefully we can push on and build from this.
Edward, what do your various body parts tell you?
Well, you see, my foot's going to say 3-0. My arm's going to say about 5. I don't tend to listen to that one. But my heart, I'm going to say we get a 2-1 win in the 90th minute with Cenk Toussaint. And I reckon with my head, I'm going to say 2-2. I think he'll be... Harry Kane will get a couple, but I think we can certainly put it... Well, I reckon we'll take the fight to them. And I reckon we'll be able to get them 2-2 or maybe even a win. But I think I've got to say back to the first ever match reaction I did for the channel and say they're a world-class team and we've got to watch ourselves.
They're good. I mean, I'm hoping we take the positive performance, but maybe not the positive result against, in the
yes.
FA Cup derby. We take that.
What are you going for, Gerry? How's it going to go?
I think 2-2. I think Sigurdsson, Jinktosen with a goal. I'm thinking it's gonna be a header.
Yeah, he seems to know how to use his head, doesn't he? That's something that pops up all the time.
Yeah.
Is he even 6 foot? I don't know if he makes.
No, he's 6 foot, like on the dot. He's not a giant guy, but he's strong.
Oh, that's good.
I think for his like base, I know going back to FIFA, but base card, he's got good physical, good pace, good dribbling, and all that, and he's got decent feet. Apparently, he's very good weak foot as well. So that's something to watch out for.
Supposedly, he's equally good left and right, which is awesome. That's crazy.
It's something that he said himself, which it's always unique to watch players like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one that I always refer to is Wesley Sneijder. I don't know how much of you've watched of him, but I think he's recently moved to somewhere in Asia. Which
it's Qatar, right?
Yeah, Qatar. I'm surprised. I'm quite upset, really. He never played in the Premier League, but just watching those two-footed players, just the sight he holds. So hopefully he hits the ground running with his form, and we just get treated to some good football.
We could also say a certain Mr. Diamond himself was a bit two-footed, wasn't he?
Didn't know how to use his head though.
We may have to start treating him like Voldemort. he who must not be named. It's sadly. Yeah, but you're right, Max. He wasn't that great of a in the air.
No, not up there.
Yeah.
But he's gone. He's gone.
So all right. So guys, have we previewed Spurs enough for the listeners and viewers? All right.
We're either going to draw, win, or lose.
Edward doesn't like to think outside the box. That's it for this segment. If you're digging the videos, please subscribe. We appreciate it. Nearing 400. You could be number 400. You win literally nothing except content. Check out Edward's YouTube channel, Jam E James. The details are down below. Check out Max's work on the Toffee Blues website. Check out the Toffee Blues website. There's lots of stuff on there, including Max. Yeah. Also, check out the Toffee Blues on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I don't even know where else you could check them out. Yeah, and I think that's it. Guys, it was a pleasure. Good to talk to you. Thanks for the time. And bye-bye out there, everybody.
You
Adios.
Bye.